welcome back to the Clean Shred YouTube channel. So today's episode is a little bit different. I'm going to be taking you guys through a little bit of the meal prep, the organizing and planning for the week. So the things that we do to make sure we have healthy food sitting there ready to go at all times, so we're always organized and never left without any healthy food or healthy options. So I'm about to go to the market, so I'll show you guys a little bit of that. I love going to the markets. So I've been up bright and early since about 5:30 this morning. It's Sunday because I've got lots of things on today, including a baby shower. I'm going to look at a venue for our wedding, which is very exciting. So I needed to get all of this done before sort of 9 a.m. So I've got my list there, I've got my bags ready to take, and I'm heading off to the markets. So as you can see, I've got my list here. I always make sure I plan everything out so I don't just go and buy a whole bunch of stuff. I'm making a healthy lasagna for dinners for Simon and just to have some frozen as extra meals in the freezer. Some salads for lunch. I'm craving salads at the moment because it's nice hot weather and I love a good crunchy salad. And then just stuff for breakfast. I like to get my eggs from the markets because you can get them at a really good price, get a big bunch of them. And some veggies for that. Pretty much eat the same veggies every day, or eat the same breakfast I should say every single day. Okay, so I am home now and I'm going to show you guys how I cook my lasagna first. So as I said, I'm going to prep this sort of healthy lasagna. It's like a vegetable lasagna with a bit of a Mexican twist on it. It's not any sort of fancy recipe or anything like that. It's just something I'm sort of throwing together. I've done similar stuff before, but this one's going to be a little bit more Mexican themed, and I'm going to add a couple of extra vegetables to it. Usually I just do it with some zucchini and eggplant, but today I'm going to add in some carrot and spinach as well. So I'll show you how I do that, and then I'm going to show you how I do my salads and also how I prep my smoothies and plan out my week. This is the ingredients I'm going to use. So I've got my carrot, diced tomatoes, zucchini, some spinach, some taco seasoning, my meat from the markets. I've already roasted up my eggplants and I'm going to roast the zucchinis just a little bit so they're a little bit softened before I start.
Looking back at this as a very conservative start. So we have some key partnerships in place. We also have a unique product which is in massive demand from society. We know people who would love to turn their life around, who love to experience optimal wellness, who want to be fit, but they want to go so much beyond fitness and actually live an inspired life and do things that matter and be healthy and experience elite wellness to be able to use their body in a way that is inspiring and exciting for themselves, but obviously for those around them as well. So that's really why I know they're going to say completely different. So partners who we have there, well, the hubs themselves will be very, very key part of the progression of the system. Why not? The hubs will in themselves fuel expansion. This is something that's going to be built on the progress of members. This is a results-based system. So the progress that people are making within our facilities is the foundation for the whole project to grow. We also have a strategic partnership with iPhone, who have some huge connections into the United States. They're a technology company, but they're also a strategic partner for us. And they're instrumental in our project to this point. They've just done deals with a couple states in the US and WNBA team. They have huge things going on in the US. They're also an Australian-based organisation, but they're a key partner for us and a key reason why this definitely will happen. The City Roosters, we're powering the City Roosters in 2018. Really excited for that partnership and to see if we can replicate what we did in 2013 meat apprenticeship, the World Cup Challenge, the Lion Apprenticeship, Club Championship, everything that could be won was won in my first season working full time in the NRL 2013. The challenge is to go back and to have an impact. This will succeed. We will connect with other teams. We will have affiliate athletes. There's a lot of things in the works there. That's our current.
Now I'm just dishing up my salad, so I just chopped up some of my cabbage, so purple cabbage, green cabbage, and grated some carrot. This is definitely my go-to at the moment. I'm loving it. And I've also made a little bit of tahini dressing, so in there I've got a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I have some rice malt syrup and onion powder and just added a bunch of water to it, and it's super nice, and I just shook it up, mixed it up, and it's good to go. So as you can see, that's such a simple, healthy recipe. It's loaded with color, loaded with fiber and nutrients, and something that anyone can make. So I'm going to add tuna to it this week, the same as I did last week, which is a bit of a lazy option, but just nice and easy. I always get a really good quality brand, as I've explained to you guys before. And yeah, I just chuck the tuna in when I'm ready to eat it, and I'm gonna put my tahini dressing on it now, so it's good to go. Here's my complete setup. So I've finished cooking, I should say, my lasagna. It's there, it's all cooked nice and crispy, looks really good. I've got my smoothies in here, ready to go. So that's 2 days worth of smoothies packed in there, and then 2 lunches ready to go there as well. Nice and simple. I'm prepped and ready for every single meal for the next 2 days and next 2 nights. Plus I'll have some extras from this one, from my lasagna, to keep in the freezer for future as well. I like to have a little bit of a backup stash of food, so if I ever come home late and just need an easy option, it's there and good to go. Last thing I almost forgot to show you guys is for my smoothies, I've also packed some baby spinach, I've got some zucchini in there, and then an avocado. I also add those to my smoothies as well. Okay, so that sort of wraps up our video for today. Last week I showed you what I eat in a day, and this was sort of more to show you what I prep for the week, how I prep for the week, and how I sort of go shopping and all those sorts of things, so what I do there. So a couple of things to wrap it up, a couple of little tips and pointers that I just wanted to recap on are, number one is that I do prep and plan, so I make sure I write a little list of the things that I'm going to cook and eat. So before I go shopping, I just have a strategic list. I just get those things there, and then a couple of little extras, things like berries and things like that to snack on. I might chuck in some extra carrots to snack on, stuff like that. But I make sure I don't have a huge amount of stuff that I'm not that likely to use. I try and avoid as much waste as possible. Number two is that I make sure that I always have heaps of colour and heaps of variety, so I try and mix it up. It does probably seem this week like I ate really similarly to last week. If you watched this episode and last week's episode, I did eat a little bit similar, but generally I try and make sure I get lots of different variety of vegetables and try and get seasonal vegetables, so get different sorts of starches. So instead of just having sweet potato all the time, sometimes I'll have things like beetroot, or I will have pumpkin and different things like that. So just always getting a good variety of colour and a good variety of vegetables. Number three is I'm all about quality, and that is one of the big reasons why I like to go to the farmers markets. It's not always easy to go to the farmers markets because you pretty much got to be there or go there on a Sunday morning. For me it's different obviously in different areas and different suburbs, but sometimes it's easier just to go to the normal shops, so Woolies or Coles, or I like to go to Harris Farm. We've got a really good Harris Farm nearby, so it doesn't matter if you don't go to the markets, you can shop at all different places, but always work on getting really good quality. I'd prefer to pay more and buy less meat or less produce, but buy really good stuff. Quality is always key. Next is to always just have some extra healthy options sitting around. So like I did this week, I actually cooked some extra dinners or some extra meals that I'm now will have in the freezer that I can go to at times when I do come home late and I can't be bothered cooking dinner, I don't have anything ready to go, or when I'm home by myself and just want an easy lunch. I have those healthy options there. So always thinking ahead and trying to have, you know, backup plans, so you're never stuck, or, you know, those moments when you're feeling like your willpower is not strong, you have a healthy option there and you're less likely to go for something that's not so optimal. Next, I'm saying next because I don't know what number I'm up to, but keep it simple and tasty. So I always try and make sure that I make my meals really tasty. If I cook really bland or plain meals, I'm not really that likely to eat them. I'm more likely to go, oh, I'm just going to grab something from the cafe, or I'm just going to do this, going to do that, or add something to it. I always try and keep it really fun and keep it interesting, and I enjoy cooking and trying different recipes and making, you know, alternatives to some of my favorite meals, or maybe some of those unhealthy meals that you can sort of turn into a bit of a healthier meal. So always try and have a bit of fun with it and make sure it's super tasty and it's foods you enjoy, not just things that you deem healthy. Make sure they're really nice, yummy foods, and keep it simple though. Keep it really like achievable. Like you saw what I just made with that lasagna. I just chucked a whole bunch of things together. I didn't plan that out. I just wing it and figure out what I'm going to do as I go. You can always chuck something in there and make it work. So keep some simple, tasty options. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on was just the smoothies that I had. So the smoothies I was having were not post-workout smoothies, and I just wanted to make sure I specified this because this can be a little bit of a confusing one. So if I were to have a post-workout smoothie, it would be protein and carbohydrate based. If I'm having a smoothie as like breakfast, or if I'm having it as like a snack or something, it'll usually be protein, greens and fats. So I would have like my protein powder. I use a pea protein or a brown rice protein. I think it's a pea protein, the one that I'm using at the moment, and I add some greens into it. So I had zucchini and spinach and avocado in there, so it's with fats, and then I just added some superfoods into there as well. So it doesn't actually have any carbohydrates in it, it's just protein, fats and greens, and those greens and the fats actually bulk it up and make it really, really filling, and it literally fills you up the same way that a meal would and keeps you really satisfied. So I find that's a really good, easy option if you need something to pack, and it's also a really great option. I actually recommend this to people if you are someone that, you know, works a busy job in the office and you find it really hard to get those meals and to get those snacks in, and or like, you know, you're starting work and not getting your breakfast in because you're busy. Having a NutriBullet, they're not very expensive. Grab a NutriBullet and put it in your, or even go in with a couple of people, put it in your lunchroom and use that, and just each Sunday grab a bunch of ingredients, you know, have some protein powder or something there that you maybe share between a couple of workmates, or just have for yourself, and just have some ingredients to make a smoothie there. It's an excellent meal replacement. It's something that takes 5 seconds to make. You can take it with you. A smoothie is something that's so easy to make, so easy to just whip up, have in a glass or in a bottle of some sort, and you can take it into meetings. You can have it sitting on your desk. It's just super easy, and you can bulk it up with nutrients and really, really good stuff, and it'll keep you going for ages. So that's a really good health pack, or a really good health tip if you're someone that struggles to get all your meals in. I'm going to wrap this up because it's getting really dark now and the video quality is fading by the second, but thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give our video a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of what we do, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you get updated when we bring new videos out. See you next week.